is an honor to serve as a practitioner emeritus here at the Everyday Center. So I have a reading from Ernest Holmes, and it begins, "Enthusiasm reaches out with joy, for there is nothing depressing about it. It reaches out in faith, for there is no fear in it. It reaches out with acceptance, for there is no doubt in it. It reaches out as a child, for there is no uncertainty about it." And the next piece I have it's a poem called "Promise Yourself." So I just invite you all to close your eyes and kind of receive these words and as maybe an oath to yourself today. Promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. To talk health, happiness, and prosperity to everyone you meet. To make all of your friends feel like there is something special within them. To look at the sunny side of everything and make your optimism real. To think only the best, work only for the best, expect only the best. And to be just as enthusiastic about the success of others as you are about your own. To forget the mistakes of the past and press on to the greater achievements of the future, of now. To wear a cheerful countenance at all times and to give every living creature you meet a smile. To give so much of yourself that you have no time to criticize others. To be too large for worry, too noble for anger, too strong for fear, and too happy to allow any idea of anything less than joy. And so just take a nice sweet breath. And the affirmation for today is, I'll read it first and we can do it together. I have the will to be well, to be happy, and to live in joy. I have the will to be well, to be happy, and to live in joy. And so it is.
Good morning, I'm Joseph Saleck, and this morning it's a pleasure to be introducing and welcoming Shelley Campbell, who's performed here many times over the past decade. Shelley, with the tenderness and yearning of her voice, her deepest desire is to nourish the soul. Her passion is to connect in a way that will awaken and inspire the divine that is in each of us. Please join me in welcoming Shelley Campbell.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Everybody. I'm always very happy to be here and to be invited. And thank you always so much for welcoming me with so much love. Already, I'm emotional. So this first song that I chose is called I'll Carry You Home. And to me, it's the metaphorical meaning of home. To me, home is where the heart is. It's where everything is. It's where God is and love and everything. And that we need each other to help us get there every day. So hopefully, well, whatever. Enjoy. When you can walk and there's chains round your soul, the burden's too heavy and you've run out of road and you're praying out loud as you stumble through the rain and snow. I'll walk out and find you. I'll carry you home. And when you can't speak, 'cause the words are too strong, And every time that you try, it just comes out all wrong. When your heart's screaming out, but no one can hear your song, oh, I'll sing it for you, and I'll carry you home. I'll carry you home. I'll carry you home. So rest your heart easy. I'll carry you home. So wander this world now, fearless and free. Climb every mountain and sail every sea. But if you wander too far into the great unknown, you know I will find you, and I'll carry you home. I'll carry you home. I'll carry you home. So rest your heart easy. I'll carry you home. I'll carry you home. I'll carry you home. So rest your heart easy. I'll carry you home. So rest your heart easy. I'll carry you home. You would. I know you would. Let's see. This over here. And I'm going to leave that there. Good morning, every day.
Good morning.
Oh my gosh, was that moving?
Yes.
And touching, and wow, we are so blessed. What a beautiful day this is. What a beautiful day for a treasure hunt. Yeah, I know not all of you read your newsletter, but my title today, or you may not have even looked at the program that was handed to you when you walked in, but my title today is Treasure Hunt for Joy. Denise gave you clues, big clues, right?
Yes.
And in these times, when joy may feel a little harder to find for some of us than others, how do we stay on track with what it is that we say? I have to be able to see you. What we say it is that we want our life to hold, that we want our life to feel like. How do we stay on track with that? Well, how's never been my favorite question. How is right up there with why, and both of them are lousy. Because my how isn't necessarily your how. And
Who knows why? None of us really know why. So why is best left out there in the ethers somewhere to be answered at some later point when our understanding has evolved to where we can hear the why and actually take it in? We aren't there yet, so far as I can tell. And I'm not just saying some of you aren't there yet. You notice I said we aren't there yet. Because we're still in this dimension, on this plane, all of us together hanging out. Right?
Yes.
And it may seem like doing a treasure hunt for joy today, circumstances being what they are, whatever our individual circumstances are, because they aren't all the same. It may seem like going on a treasure hunt for joy is a big waste of time. And my personal attitude about that is that there's no better time to go on a treasure hunt for joy. Because if we're on a treasure hunt for joy, then it is so much easier to bring joy to others. It is so much easier to spread it around like peanut butter. It's so much easier. Now, the real person who should be up here talking about treasure hunts is Denise. Because much of her formative years was spent figuring out treasure hunts for parties and family gatherings and all of that. So I apologize for not having the experience that is actually in the room that could talk with you more eruditely about treasure hunts. But I know what it means. I totally know what it means to be on the lookout. To be on the lookout for joy. To be on the lookout for what brings me joy. So I'll give you an example, or 10. Looking into every single one of your faces brings me joy. Looking into your eyes brings me joy. Now, it's not that I didn't have joy before. It increases my joy. It expands my joy. It uplevels my joy. It boosts my joy. It feeds my joy. And I didn't have to go anywhere to make that happen. I got to just stand here in front of all of you and have it happen. When we were driving here this morning, and I was looking at the beauty that just unfolds in a magical northern desert kind of way, that increased my joy. So why do we have the feeling that it's so hard? That it's such a struggle to stay in joy, to find joy, to cultivate joy, to have enough joy to share, why do we find it so hard when it's like oozing out of the air? It's just lavishing itself upon us. We find it hard because we believe it's hard. That's one reason. We find it hard because we believe that we should be mad or upset or suffering, or, a lot of us may have grown up with the idea that everything had to be hard. That if it wasn't hard, you weren't doing it right. So I'm here to tell you, that's a big fat lie.
Thank you.
If it's not easy, you're not doing it right.
Right.
Because life is not meant to be hard. Life is not meant to be a struggle. Let me take you back to the basics. There's one life. That life is all life. That life is my life and our life and all of life around us, right here, right now, no exceptions. And that is whether or not we believe it. Because the tree doesn't necessarily, hang out where it is going, well, let me see. Do I really believe that there's one life? No, the tree just is. We are the ones who question. We are the ones who consider and then decide whether or not it's logical. How in the world can there only be one life? And how can that life be all giving, all loving, all the time? Remember what I had to say about how? I don't have much use for how. Because I don't care how. In fact, I can't figure out how. I don't know how life does all the things it does. And I may never know, no matter how much my consciousness expands. And I don't care. What I know is that it is a benefit, that it is a blessing, that it is a joy. Because life is supporting itself. If there's only one, just stop and walk through this with me for a sec. If there's only one and it's all there is, now, okay, if it's all there is, what about the chairs you're sitting on? What about this lectern? Are these things that life as well?
Yes.
Anybody who said yes was right. This lectern started out as an idea. All ideas come from the one mind. When Laura is is hearing music that is calling to her to write a piece. And she sits down at the piano and she starts to write a piece that is coming through her from the one mind. We all use the one mind to a greater or lesser degree. To a greater or lesser degree. Now, how can that be? If we're all one, how can it be that we use it to a greater or lesser degree? Whatever that was, and so it is. Because there's consciously and there's unconsciously. There's intentionally and there's unintentionally. And we are the ones, we privileged humans, we are the ones who have those capacities. Now we look at our four-legged friends. I'm going to move into another realm for a second. We look at our four-legged friends, and if we pay the slightest bit of attention, and you can pick any one, a wild one that you have at home that may also be wild. You can pick any one, but they don't labor over stuff, right? They have instincts. They have just this intelligence, this natural intelligence that works, it seems, entirely differently from our own. And it only seems that way because they don't labor over stuff. We labor over stuff. Or am I the only one? We ask questions. We might doubt. We might wonder. We might futurize. We might draw conclusions based on evidence that doesn't necessarily really exist. But our brain, notice I didn't say mind, and if you decide to take my class, which starts on the 25th of February, you'll learn more about this. And all of the information should be in your program, and if it isn't, it's in the newsletter, and if you need more information, talk to me. Anyway, the beings, whether it's fish or fowl or wolf, they just move through the world with their instinctive nature as their guide. What in the world is wrong with us? We have the same instinctive nature. And we will move through the world with all these questions. We move through the world with all these doubts. We move through the world with all this angst. What I'm suggesting is that we have an opportunity to do it differently. Now, granted, a wolf or an eagle or a fish might not consciously go on a treasure hunt for joy, because they might not. I'm not saying they don't. Listen clearly now, I'm not saying they don't, because I don't know how their intellect works. I just know it works. Because if you look at them, they're doing their life just fine. We, on the other hand, might need some coaching around going on a treasure hunt for joy. When it might feel like that there is so much to be worried about. Whether it's friend or family or whatever it is that's going on anywhere in the world, it might seem like there's so much to be worried about. And if we're not worried about it, I have a client who actually says this to me. If I'm not worried about it, I'm not doing my job. Because that's how she grew up. She grew up with in a culture, and with the help of well-meaning others that said if you weren't worried, you weren't doing it right. Especially being a mother. If you're not worried as a mother, you're not doing it right. Well, you know what? We can do all the worrying we want as mothers, and our kids are still going to be their own person, and there's nothing we can do about it. Right. Life is here to enjoy. We are here to enjoy it.
Yes.
Life can be here to enjoy, but that doesn't mean that we're enjoying it. We get to choose whether or not we're going to enjoy it. We get to choose whether or not we're going to participate fully. We're going to bring our best selves fully to each other. Whether or not we're going to take good care of ourselves, which is part of our responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Taking good care of ourselves, attending to ourselves, showing up for things that feed us, like hopefully this Sunday will. That's taking good care of ourselves. That's taking good care of our minds and our hearts and our spirits. If we put that last, it's likely not to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything else will come first. Everything, everybody, every possibility, every possible disaster, everything that we can imagine will come before our health and well-being. So let me tell you what happens when we put everything before our health and well-being, which, by the way, is on the treasure hunt list. Because if we're not looking if we're not consciously looking for things that nurture us, if we aren't consciously looking for experiences and opportunities and people to be with that are joy itself. Have you ever heard Stephen laugh? We should pay him to laugh. If we aren't taking care of ourselves, we've got nothing to give. We have nothing to give of any quality because we're tapped out. Again, many of us may have grown up with the opposite information. You always put the other guy first, right? You always sacrifice. You always should give and give and give and give and not give one thought to receiving. And do you know what that information did? It made us all lousy receivers. Lousy. Because when someone offers us something, this happened to me this morning. Deborah handed me this beautiful little package. Now, if I was a lousy receiver, and I'm a great receiver, in case you wanted to know, I might have said, "Oh no, you're being too generous. No, I appreciate you thinking of me, but no." Someone commented on my outfit this morning, and I might have said, "Oh, this old thing? Really? You think it's nice?" I see you two giggling back there. It's all in the past. It was all a lie in the first place. The truth is, there's nothing better and there's nothing more important for us to invest our time in than being on a treasure hunt for joy. When we're on a treasure hunt for joy, we've got plenty to give away. We've got plenty of smiles to give away. We have plenty of listening to give away. We have plenty of hugs to give away. We have plenty of love to give away. Plenty. And we'll never run out. Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind encourages us to recognize the gift that this life is. And how it never stops giving. How it never stops giving. Every single one of us is able to take a breath without thinking about it, without having done anything to earn it, without having been a good girl or a bad girl or a good boy or a bad boy. Every single one of us breathes without thinking about it. Where do you think that comes from? And you can give me the whole thing about the plants and the exchange and, and all of that. But what I'm telling you is that the genesis of all things is the same. Just like it is for this lectern. It's all the same. And its pleasure is for us to be living a life of joy.
Mm-hmm.
Because then through us, it is living a life of joy. It can only do for us what it can do through us. Well, wait a minute. What about whether or not God thinks it's okay for me to have something or be happy, or there's no question. There's no question. And are you ready for the really shocking news? Shocking? It doesn't matter what we think we've done that was so bad, or what we think we didn't do that was so bad, because the life that is all life does not see life that way.
Okay.
It doesn't judge. I mean, why in the world would it judge itself? Why? I don't like that question either. It wouldn't. It is unconditional, 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 which means unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
For all of its creation.
Mm-hmm.
Equally unconditional. Now, what if somebody makes dumb choices? What happens then? Well, other than telling you again to take my class, I'm going to make it simple. What happens then is the law of reciprocity.
Mm-hmm.
And it isn't about the dumb choice. It's about the lack of consciousness that went into the dumb choice.
Mm-hmm.
What am I talking about when I'm talking about consciousness? Take my class.
Yeah.
There is no circumstance where the love of spirit becomes conditional.
Right.
Dumb choice or not. We get to have this. I have to share with you. This was the first big word our grandkids learned. There are consequences.
Mm-hmm.
There are consequences. And whether or not we get to witness the consequences, they still happen.
Yes.
Yes, they
That's
do.
right.
And the consequences are none of our damn business. They still happen. You know, the law works the way the law works, the way the law works, the way the law works, the way the law works,
That's right.
etc. Please go on a treasure hunt for joy. Abandon these treasure hunts for reasons to be angry and upset.
Mm-hmm.
Go on a treasure hunt for joy. Now, I'm not suggesting you not pay attention to what's going on. But how we pay attention to what's going on makes a big difference in how we're impacted by what's going on.
Yes.
And what our ideas are about what may or may not happen because of what may or may not be going on. Meanwhile, we have a treasure hunt for joy to actually do some good for our lives and the lives of others. Holy cow, that's a much better idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's a much better idea. And a much more fun idea. So shall we?
Yes.
Shall we?
Yes.
That's better. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you. All right, so now it's that time for our conscious giving. Joyfully, of course. And so if I could have the ushers come forward, please. And so just like Rev Ann just said, that the way we do things impacts everything else. And so as you're preparing your gift, or as you're in consciousness about your online donation, or Facebook, we're now able to donate online with just a click of a button, same with Zoom. However you give it joyously. Give it with that attitude of lightness. I was thinking, the idea of a firefly came to my mind this week. And the firefly just brings light wherever it goes. And so I'm going to claim that I'm a firefly this week. And invite you to, as you're on your treasure hunt for joy, use your light. So if you would please join me in our sharing affirmation. The love of Spirit blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive abundantly. And so it is. Thank you. You want to plug your class some more? Not in not so subtle ways?
I have this manager who's a big fan of the work I do. And she utzes me to tell people more about it. So I'll take a minute and fill you in. My class starts, the daytime class starts on the 25th of this month. It will be held here in person. The evening class starts the following day. It will be on Zoom. And the class is called What We Believe. And we'll really talk about the basics of what we believe in this philosophy and why we believe it. And it isn't just going to be me talking, because the most important part of the class is what you have to say, what your questions are, what your inquiries are, what your challenges are, and how we can apply the principles of this philosophy to address them, to make a difference, to make it possible for a treasure hunt for joy to even sound like something that could work for you right now. And
Thank you.
There's a sign-up sheet on the back table.
That's right. Okay. Laurel and Patricia, thank you so much for your service. and their consciousness that you bring to the collection. And so if everyone would just direct your attention and your energy up to the baskets, and know with me that everything that is in here and that's coming online, that comes in any form, is a blessing for the Everyday Center to continue its positive impact in the world, for each of its members to contribute in a positive way in their world, for it is all one. And in gratitude we receive, we do the things that it does into the community of Santa Fe and to our service providers, out into our donations, to the Stand Up for Kindness for this past quarter. All of it is given in that attitude of gratitude and joy. And so it is.
Oh no, Carol. Sorry.
Okay. No deeper meaning to this song. It's just a sweet, lovely song. Hopefully everybody knows it. Sing along. I'm going to need my dancers to come up. Joseph's going to have a beautiful piano solo in it. So it goes out to all the people that are still here and that have gone wherever they go, that are unforgettable to us. And sing along if you want. Unforgettable, that's what you are. Unforgettable, though near or far. Like a song of love that clings to me. How the thought of you does things to me. Never before has someone been more unforgettable in every way. And forevermore, that's how you'll stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. Joseph. Unforgettable in every way, and forevermore, that's how you'll stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that we are unforgettable too.
you.